It's really a pleasure to be here. Thank you for
이 자리에
inviting me.
오게
Thank you
되어
for
정말 기쁩니다.
Chosen Media
저를
and
초청해 주신
Dr. Park.
조선 미디어와
We're having a wonderful
박
first visit
박사님께
to
감사의 말씀을
your
드립니다.
beautiful country.
한국에는 처음 오는데 지금까지 아주 좋은 시간 보내고
10,000 years
있습니다.
ago, North
지금으로부터
Americans
만 년 전
domesticated wolves so they
북미에
could have a higher
살던
standard of
인류가
living.
늑대를
If we can double the
길들였습니다.
speed of transportation,
우리가
we have 4 times as much opportunity because the area of the circle is proportional to the radius squared. So every transportation advance translates directly into standard of living. Transportation is the master key to survival. And then the Spanish brought the horse to North America. And within less than 2 generations, it had doubled the American standard of living in a very short period of time. It was a gift from the gods. And then in the late 1700s, steam power was invented, Fulton's Folly. And that displaced muscle power because greater market value. The market always responds to value. So our cars and jets have replaced trains to niche markets. What can replace our cars and jets? Because they rely on oil mostly that is being dug out of the ground faster, or being burnt faster than it can be dug out of the ground. A lot of us do not realize that there are over 3 million kilometers of paved roads in the United States, but there are over 3.5 million kilometers of pipelines that invisibly deliver more kilometer tons of cargo than roads do. And most of it's automated. Maybe that's why it's much safer and not subject to catastrophic events to nearly the degree of roads. So if we can shift out of the road paradigm, we can start thinking in a new way. Also, automation, as Tony Seba has aptly demonstrated, has already replaced telecommunications. 100 years ago, most telephone conversations were switched by human switchboard operators, just like most cars are driven today with human operators, manual control processes. If all of our telephone conversations were switched with human operators, there would not be enough people in the world to do it. Automation is proven orders of magnitude more reliable, much faster than human control. And Google is starting to do this with automobiles. But that's not without problems. Children running out in front of the vehicles and things like that. So control of that path of travel is really important. Also, we need to look at ways to make transportation more comfortable. Why can't our travel modes be as comfortable as our living rooms? The economic power of telecommunication is responsible for much of the global economy gains in the last several decades. But I ask you to consider, what is the cost of a typical cell phone? A couple $100? A high-end cell phone maybe $1,000. But how about our automobiles? We are spending $20,000 or $30,000 for the typical car, $100,000 for a high-end vehicle. If we start to automate transportation, the effects on the economy and the trickle-down effects will be multiplied several times greater than the last paradigm shift in automation, which was telecommunications. Before I get into that automation and the new paradigm in transportation, let's stop to consider for a minute that the travel through the evacuated environment of space is near perpetual, almost no energy expended. The average human travels 500 billion kilometers through orbit on spaceship Earth during a typical lifetime without burning a drop of gasoline. So our global vision with ET3 is bringing space travel conditions down to Earth. 2 tubes, one for each direction, that have almost all of the air removed. So car-sized vehicles can operate in that network of tubes, and if it's all built to the same standard in every country, eventually we can
승용차
network the
크기의
entire
캡슐에
world
사람이
together,
들어가서 그 캡슐이 진공관으로 이동을 한다면은
4-hour travel
우리는
between any major city on Earth.
전 세계 주요 어느
Car-sized
도시
vehicles.
간에 한 2시간에서 4시간이면은 여행이
I'll
가능해질
show a little video
것입니다.
here of
제가
how
짤막한
some of this
동영상을
will work.
보여드리겠습니다.
Much more like a magnetically levitated car
자기
instead
부상
of a train.
열차
This is yttrium barium copper oxide.
보셨습니다마는
When it is brought down to liquid
이것과
nitrogen temperature
유사합니다.
in the
지금
presence of a
보시는
permanent
과학자는
magnetic field, it
자기장
levitates
내에서
with almost no friction.
마찰 없이 자기 부상 기술을 이용하여
And it's completely stable without any electricity or electronics.
기술의 시연입니다. 여기에는
This vehicle here in China will
전자기술이
levitate for 7 hours using $3.50 worth of liquid nitrogen. In an evacuated environment, we'll reduce that cost by order of magnitude. Instead of 50 cents an hour levitation cost, 5 cents an hour levitation cost per car-sized vehicle.
The future of transport luckily looks very different than today. Implementation of new technologies no longer require the fast burning of fossil fuel to get you to your desired destinations. With future transport, you can get there a lot faster and cheaper. Imagine a world without pollution and noise from traffic. This world is brought to you by the fifth mode of transport called evacuated tube travel technology, or ET3. In short, ET3 is poised to reach speeds of, yes, 6,500 kilometers per hour.
ET3 operates like a car on a freeway where all of the stations are offline. So as this capsule pulls into an access portal, people can get out and get into the vehicle, so it does not interrupt the flow of traffic like a train stopping on a track. And then the vehicle accelerates up to speed, merges into the flow of traffic, and can be routed anywhere in the network of tubes like packets of information are routed through the internet. But you will be in control of where that vehicle goes, and you can select to stop every 15 minutes.
Rail, asphalt, and even overhead lines to establish how ET3 can transport cargo, passengers, and utilities much more effectively.
Many nations are nowadays investing in wind energy. We calculated that if ET3 system will replace existing modes of transport, it will save 3 to 5 times more CO2 emissions as compared to wind parks that will be built for the same money. ET3 has much better granularity. It means that in the future you can place ET3 stations or ET3 access portals, as they call, much closer to where you live.
In the coming decades, an access portal will be built near to you and connect you with shopping malls, supermarkets, towns, beaches, and tourist destinations all over the planet in one go. No more.
100 years ago, Henry Ford had to build a whole series of factories because the capacity didn't exist at the time. It took what would now be tens of billions of dollars of investment. Now, we don't have to do that. We can use parallel processes. That's why our company, ET3 Global Alliance, is built as an open consortium to leverage the tens of billions or hundreds of billions of dollars of production capacity to build everything that already exists. This is a company that makes high-tech composites that can use filament winding to make the capsules. This is a company that can make helical piers that screw down into the ground in less than 15 minutes per support. Proven magnetic levitation technologies that we saw earlier. The verification is taking place at several universities. This is Frank Davidson that built the tunnel under the English Channel. Famous physicist Dr. Kamada in Japan. What is the cost of ET3? And that's the exciting thing, is these capsules, car-sized vehicles, only weigh 400 pounds empty, but they haul the same 800-pound payload as a typical car. So compare that to a 100-ton locomotive. We only have a little over a ton of load to support here. Two 100-ton locomotives passing in a bridge span takes massive structure. This only takes 1 ton of material for 2 meters. This over here is 35 tons of material for the same 2 meters. That's why we can
똑같은
build
2m
ET3 for a
구간을
tenth
구축한다
of the cost
하더라도
of high-speed
기존의
rail,
ET3의
and the
경우
capacity is also
35분의
much greater.
1입니다. 또한 그 운송
These are some micro
용량도
studies,
훨씬 큽니다.
1/17
여러 가지
the amount of
세부
earth to
연구를
remove for building
수행했습니다.
tunnels. And since it's automated, the capacity, and we use an automotive freeway interchange philosophy that does not rely on a physical moving switch,
또한
one
고속도로의
tube
기울을 많이
can
합니다만
carry
물리적인
the
스위치를
equivalent
이용하는 게
capacity of
아니기
20
때문에
lanes of freeway
진공관
traffic. That means a
하나가
two-way system,
고속도로
a two-tube
20개
system,
차선에
could carry as
달하는
much as
트래픽
40
양을
lanes
감당할 수
of freeway
있습니다.
traffic.
즉
And if we double the speed, we double the
진공관
capacity.
시스템을
We can move
두 개
cargo a
병렬로
pallet at
만들
a
수
time.
있다면은
All
40개
those
차선에 달하는
containers
고속도로만큼이나 차량 통행을
traveling across the
소화할 수
ocean
있다는
end up getting
것이고
taken home in cars and
해상
SUVs. If we don't have to pay the
운송을
driver,
하는
the advantage of the big vehicles goes away, and
시스템을
there's a
이용할
lot
수
of
있기
advantages
때문에
to small vehicles.
운송비도 줄어들게 될
If a
것이고 또한
aerodynamically efficient vehicle like this had
공기
retractable wheels, it
역학적으로
could drive right
효율성이
into a
높은
capsule
이러한 차량을
and
만들어서 바퀴가
go
접이식이
between
되어서
here in Korea
캡슐로
to New York
변신해서
City in 2
바로
hours,
진공관에
or
들어가서
the other
한국에서
direction to
뉴욕시까지
Paris
2시간 내에
in a
내지는
couple
뭐
hours.
뉴욕에서 파리까지
The
몇
first
시간 내에
project
이동할 수 있는
is
세상이 오는
to
것입니다.
take 5 kilometers and leverage the prototypes that we've made, the testing that we have done, and build a first demonstration at 600 kilometers per hour. This is some of the project cost. We need 5 kilometers to do that. If everything is built to the same standard in every country, eventually we can network together. If the same diameter tubes are built with a global system where Korea would be 2 hours to New York or 2 hours to Paris or London, making the world a lot smaller. There are several case studies suggested for Korea, perhaps even reunification. This might be the seed that it takes to do something like that, or maybe a bid for the Olympics because of the immunity to weather issues inside that tube. Many advantages to ET3. We can accomplish 50 times more transportation per kilowatt hour. Because what we're doing is we're bringing the friction-free travel conditions of outer space down to Earth for everybody to enjoy on a daily basis instead of just a few lucky astronauts. You can get involved and learn more at et3.com and et3.net. It's an open consortium that anybody can get involved with. Thank you very much.